So I just finished watching a football game in Buffalo, New York, in which the Kansas City Chiefs were favored to win, and they got their asses kicked. Up and down, all around, asses kicked. Buffalo wound up with 404 total yards to Kansas City's 305. It was 23 first downs to only 16 for Patrick Mahomes' offense. And speaking of Patrick Mahomes, would you believe he went 15 of 34 for a grand total of 250 yards? That's 44%. That is awful. On the big late day national stage, 44% from Patrick Mahomes, no touchdowns, and one big late interception on a desperation throw. Wait, Josh Allen. I just watched Josh Allen go 23 of 26 for 273. 23 of 26 with a touchdown and no interceptions, no turnovers for Buffalo. And I watched James Cook, as I predicted on Arena Gridiron. Watch us tomorrow. That's 2:30 to 4:30 Eastern on the Arena YouTube channel. I predicted James Cook, he was our guest last week on the show, would go for 110 to 120, and he went for 114 against Coach Spags' defense. That's pretty great. Dalton Kincaid, 6 catches. I loved him before his draft. Wanted Dallas to take him. 6 catches for 101 yards. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? All you're going to hear about tomorrow, all the highlight shows are going to show and show and show again, is that Patrick freaking Mahomes completed a 4th and 17 to get the Chiefs back in the game, down 28 to 13 in the fourth quarter, and they scored and they went for 2, and it was Mahomes to Kelsey, Taylor Swift's Kelsey. Don't tell me that the Taylor Swift phenomenon, it even increases how wildly overhyped Patrick Mahomes is. But this is the play of the day. This is how he has made himself and gotten away with being so wildly overhyped. 4th and 17, he does kind of a double reverse drop back. Turn this way, swing, reverse, go the other way. So he drops back like 20 yards. I don't know what Joey Bosa was doing. Joey Bosa had a great game. He had a sack and 5 quarterback hits. But on this one, I don't know, he just went deer in headlights. He just stopped his pass rush. I don't know why. If he thought they were going to screen behind, I don't know. But he stopped. And all of a sudden, Mahomes had time to find Rashee Rice for 29 yards. And I'm saying, Buffalo, what are you doing? Every time Buffalo sent an extra rusher, every time they sent 5 or 6, Mahomes was a disaster. Mahomes did get sacked 3 times. They had 15 quarterback hits. Every time they hit Patrick Mahomes, like any other mortal quarterback, he unraveled. 15 of 34 was Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City had 79 rushing yards, so they didn't help back, give him much back cover where they backed him up with some run game. Nope, Mahomes, but he's Patrick Mahomes. And I keep saying, this is the Patrick Mahomes we've seen in all those Super Bowls. We even did the topic on Arena Gridiron on Friday. Again, people are making the case Patrick Mahomes is close to passing Brady for God. I'm like, it's already over. It's like LeBron versus Jordan. It's done. Disqualified. Patrick Mahomes has had 2 games and very nearly 3 games that were way worse than any single Tom Brady Super Bowl, and he played in 10 of them. To show me one Tom Brady Super Bowl that was nearly as bad as Tom Brady completely outplaying Patrick Mahomes in their head-to-head Super Bowl. And remember, Tom Brady went to Arrowhead in the cold and completed 3 straight 3rd and 10s, converted 3 straight 3rd and 10s into overtime to go score and win the game against Patrick Mahomes. And then last year's Super Bowl, has everybody just swept that one under the carpet? Patrick Mahomes was down 40-6 with 3 minutes left in a Super Bowl game. Brady never even close to having a disaster like that. Brady beat him 31-9 in a Super Bowl head-to-head, and you're saying he's close to passing? What? Stop it. No, seriously, stop it. That's just blasphemy. That's insanity. That's mind-blowing that anybody could begin to make that case. And remember Patrick's first Super Bowl? He's down 20-10 late third quarter and throws a horrendous interception. He's down 20-10 early fourth quarter and throws another, what appeared to be disastrous, terrible interception. Does anybody remember that but me? And then it's 3rd and 15 from his 35. They're backed up. They're still down 20-10. And he has a rusher in his face, and he basically closes his eyes and flings it into the deep flat. And Tyreek has to reverse route, and come back and wave for a fair catch and fair catch it for a first down. And they got out of jail because they were going up against Jimmy Garoppolo, who went 3 of 11 in the fourth quarter with an interception for 37 yards. A huge interception. If you're playing anybody else credible at that point, you lose that football game. But Patrick Mahomes backed into it, and he was great late. I give you that, because Jimmy G gave him every opportunity. Then Jimmy G misses Emmanuel Sanders running free at the goal line for a late throw, or we're having a different conversation. Brady won his first 6 Super Bowls with game-winning drives in the fourth quarter overtime. And the 7th, he beat Patrick Mahomes in the pandemic year with a team that went 7-9 the year before. He beat him 31-9 in the Super Bowl. Even in the 3 that Brady lost. Think about this. In the 3 that Brady lost in the first Eli, he goes 80 yards and hits Randy Moss for a touchdown that puts them up 14-10 with 2 minutes left. What more could you ask for? And the great Bill Belichick, talking about overrated, Bill Belichick's defense, all it has to do is stop Eli from going 75 yards for a touchdown, not a field goal. They needed a touchdown. And they did. Of course, there was the helmet catch and Eli escaping 7 sacks on one play. But finally hitting Plaxico for the touchdown. I don't know. How can Bill Belichick's defense give up a 75-yard drive to cost Tom Brady a Super Bowl that he had won with 2 minutes left? And then the second Eli Super Bowl, it was just one slightly errant throw by Tom Brady up the seam on a route to Wes Welker that he rarely runs, and he had to twist. But he got both hands on the ball. If he hangs on, we're having a different conversation. That's how close that game was in the second Eli Super Bowl. And, of course, the big one was Tom Brady set the all-time playoff record, still stands, 505 passing yards against Philly's top 5 defense, and the backup quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Foles, hangs 41 on Belichick's vaunted defense because Malcolm Butler, who played the most regular season snaps, is benched for the game. Mysteriously and still inexplicably benched was Malcolm Butler. And Tom Brady puts up 33 points on a top 5 defense and loses 41-33. And by the way, throws into the end zone, a Hail Mary at the end of the game, hits Gronk right in the hands, and they're tackling him. 3 guys are tackling him. It's blatant pass interference, and Gronk still nearly caught the football. Those are Brady's Super Bowls. And Mahomes had 2 disasters and a very near disaster in the first one. And I'm thinking about this at the end of the game today because this is what's going to happen. They got their asses kicked, and Mahomes mostly stunk in this game. Kansas City went 3 of 13 on third down today. 3 of 13. And all anybody will talk about is 4th and 7. Can you believe he's magic? He's supernatural. He's a wizard, Patrick Mahomes. He did it again. No, they lost. And he threw a late interception. It was 28-21. It should have been much worse. All the stats scream worse, worse, worse. Josh Allen is now 5-1 in the regular season against Patrick Mahomes. But I give you this. Mahomes is 4-0 postseason against Josh Allen. Got him once in Buffalo. I give you that. I hope they meet again because this time it's going to change because now Kansas City is 5-4. 5-4. Wow. 5-4. The Bills are 6-2, but all the talk will be about 4th and 17. That was on the Bills. I give you, Mahomes can do some amazing things when you give him lots of time, and he can create time I guess better than anybody I've ever seen. Brady threw on time every time, as you well know. He had little to no mobility. Patrick amazes me. He's incredibly elusive in the pocket, can run some downfield, but he can't run like Josh Allen can run. Josh Allen had the one third down play where they had the call read option. He kept it. He's much bigger, more athletic than Patrick. Not way more, because Patrick looks like he weighs 240 with his dad bod, but Patrick he's got those shortstop feet. He can move, he can escape, he can buy time. If you let him buy time, he'll make amazing throws, but it's hard to live on those. It works for TikTok, it works for Instagram, it works for all the highlight shows, but look at Patrick Mahomes' stats over the last 2 years, the previous 2 years. Go back 3. Seriously, go back 3 years from this one. He got off to a pretty good start this year, but they're 5-4. That's all I know is they're 5-4. That's what his record is. And yet his passing stats have eroded for 3 consecutive seasons. Go look at them. I'm talking about yards passing per game, total yards passing, QBR. It's just gone down, down, down. In his last MVP season, he was first in the league in QBR. Last 2 years, he was 8th and 8th in QBR. Still top 10. I'm not saying he's terrible, but he ain't that. He ain't close to Brady. Are you kidding me? Patrick freaking Mahomes? I swear, the Taylor Swift connection, now that his wife is close with Taylor and they seem like they're besties, it even increases the overhyping of Patrick Mahomes. Nobody wants to see the truth about Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he converts 4th and 17s, and they got their asses kicked. That was the truth today about how Patrick Mahomes played at Buffalo. Bottom line, end of story. I will see you tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern, and I can't wait to see Aqib Talib. He lucked into winning a dinner bet against me today, but he was all over Kansas City winning this game, and I can't wait to see his face tomorrow on Arena Gridiron. See you then.